Ashley, Sarah, thanks so much for being here on the Zaft Lending Report. One thing I wanted to ask you about is when you have buyers that come with other lenders, do you normally try and convert them over to Pete?
Typically, we suggest that they give Pete a call as well. We always want them to compare and find the best deal, but we usually know that Pete is going to get them the best rate and give them the best experience. So yes, we typically do suggest that they call Pete.
And are there any instances sometimes where they don't necessarily want to talk to Pete, but maybe if it's a complicated deal or complicated property that you're looking at, is there instances where you use him just for verification of the information that you're looking at?
Our goal is to always get a buyer to call Pete. So it's just another tool that we have in our toolbox that will give us any red flags that we might be encountering in the future.
Our whole purpose is to make the process for our clients as smooth and easy as possible. And so bringing in vendors that are going to help us accomplish that goal is most important to us. And we know Pete will get the deal done and make the experience as smooth as possible. So that's why we suggest working with him.
And Pete has always been able to get a buyer to the table. So once he pre-approves a buyer, I know 100% without fail, we're getting to the closing table. We're closing on time. There aren't going to be any delays, and it's going to be a seamless transaction. For me, that allows me to sleep better at night. So 100% of the time, we're trying to get a buyer to at least call Pete and make that introduction.
And I'm sure with buyers that have done their research, they know that ACRE Real Estate is one of the top real estate groups in Nashville. So hopefully they're taking your advice and working with your top referral sources. Of course, that one of those being Pete.
Honestly, most of the time, Kathy, they are. They trust us.
Yeah.
They're coming to us for that expertise, and
Yeah.
that's part of what they're getting when they work with Sarah and myself.
We try to build that trust up front so that when we bring in our people that we know are going to help make that process seamless, they trust us with those connections.
So Ashley and Sarah, I know ACRE, you've been together 12 years as a group, yes?
Sarah and I have been together for 12 years, yes.
And how long have you been working with Pete?
I've actually been working with Pete for over 15 years, almost exclusively as our lender.
And of course, I was introduced to Pete when I started working with Ashley, and so I've been working with him ever since. I have worked with several other lenders, of course, through the years, and some have been wonderful. Some have been very challenging, and so we've learned over those experiences that Pete does the work up front to figure out if there might be any red flags or any challenges, and he overcomes them up front so that when we're making the offer and we're getting buyers excited and under contract, that it's not going to be a disappointment 2 weeks later, a few days before closing, because something came up that maybe wouldn't have been seen by another lender.
Because nobody wants to get those phone calls 5 days before closing. Oh, we have a problem.
Right.
And that just doesn't happen with Pete.
That's exactly right. It's literally never happened in 15 years.
And Pete's one of those, I think, too. We have to close in 8 days because that's what the guidelines say. If he could close in 3, he would close in 3. And part of that is the team behind him, his panel of appraisers that he has, because he's worked with them for so long. I'm sure you're familiar with his appraiser panel. How have they helped you through the years?
Gosh, in more ways than we can
Right.
count.
Yeah.
I can think of several specific situations. We work with, there's a lot of people moving to Nashville, so we work with a lot of people that are coming from out of state and have a lender that they have worked with in another state, and really just want to keep working with them. And what I always say up front is one of the biggest reasons why I suggest working with Pete is because he has connections with the top appraisers that know all of the nuances of all of our specific local neighborhoods. So, we know that certain pockets of East Nashville are very different than other pockets of East Nashville. And so they can look for comps that are actually very accurate. And an out-of-state lender, an out-of-state appraiser, or someone who is not as well connected may not have an appraiser that has that knowledge base of those neighborhoods.
They're a very important part of our team.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
So after 12 plus years of working with Pete, why do you keep coming back?
So many reasons.
First, Pete is truly the best in the business. He just is. It's that simple. Yeah. He creates a seamless process. He gets all the information up front. He takes control. And again, we trust his team. So no news is good news for us. And again, it helps us as agents and also our buyers sleep better at night, knowing that they're in good hands, knowing that once Pete has taken them through the full pre-approval process, that closing date is going to happen. It's going to happen on time, and the numbers are going to be exactly what Pete quoted them up front.
When buyers are in the phase of just searching for a home, he's also a really amazing partner. He makes himself available all hours of the day, on the weekend. I say he works 8 days a week, just like we do. And so, if I've shown several houses to some clients on a Saturday and it's 7:00, he'll still be available for us if we need to crunch numbers and just make sure that the house that the clients fell in love with that day makes sense financially for them. And then expanding upon what Ashley said, the reason why that process is so great is because he has the in-house underwriters. His team is amazing. We adore them. Little systems, that he has fine-tuned over the years really make the process easy for us and for our clients and for cooperative agents that we're working with.
Ashley and Sarah, thanks so much for being here today on the Zaft Lending Report.
Thanks for having us, Kathy.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. This was fun.